seeing it.
All right, good. And video will be on momentarily and now. All right, we should be on. We're faces everywhere, audio everywhere. We're on.
Awesome. Thanks, Nima. Good job.
Hey, everybody. I'm Nima.
Hey, I'm Remy.
Thank you for tuning in for yet another week of Our Faces. If 4 weeks of this wasn't enough, here's week 5.
Yep. We're never going to stop. I'm testing the audio right now.
That's okay. I'll introduce what we're doing. This is week 5 of our show about leftovers, our weekly live discussion right after the show airs. We don't know a lot of things about the show, but this is the kind of place, this is the kind of forum where
What do you mean we don't know a lot of things about this show?
I'm honest about that.
What do you mean? Like about religion? We know nothing about religion.
Yeah, or maybe the underlying themes we may not know about, but this is a good place. This is a good forum for people to come and have that discussion so we can all learn about it.
We got so much heat last week. It was great.
It was awesome.
People are like, "Oh, these guys have no idea what they're doing." And
no, we received awesome comments.
Yeah, we did have awesome comments.
I went back and I read Ben's comments. They were awesome. Really good points.
Productive.
He called it almost on the spot, which, Ben, if you're watching this episode, good job, man. You're really close to what he thought the events were, like what explosion happened. He was pretty damn close to it.
Yeah.
And also somebody named What's Up. I'm pretty sure that's their name.
That was a pretty good. Was that about how it might be a dream?
Or it might be the afterlife. Basically.
The afterlife, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think about that at this point? Because they're all trying to get to Australia now. So,
right. Who's not in Australia at this point? Who's not there?
Well, everybody, but there's only Nora and the Kevins.
So the two Kevins are there. Nora's there. At this point, Michael, Matt, Lori, and John are there.
Yeah, they're there.
What other character are there left?
I don't know. There's a bunch of other characters. I like how they got rid of Kevin's daughter. They're like, oh, I'm going to college. Where was she going, by the way?
Ben's here. What up, Ben? You're awesome,
dude.
Thank you for hanging out. We really do appreciate your comment. But
yeah, it was very constructive.
So here's the thing. I don't think Kevin's daughter's gone. I think she'll come back. I think she'll definitely come back.
There's only 2-3 episodes left.
Yeah, there's plenty.
She's gonna show up in Australia out of nowhere.
If this seems like a ticking time bomb of something crazy that's about to happen, so absolutely they're gonna bring characters back.
I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I think it's just gonna be I think this is gonna leave you scratching your head, kind of like Lost.
It can do both. It can have. Well, Lost had a very climactic ending, as an ending should be, and it still left everybody's head scratching. Right. Everybody's wondering why this and what does it mean. It needed a whole bunch of group of people to explain what they saw. So I think this could be the same thing. And God, I'm gonna go on a ramble. This episode was kind of like Kevin's episode, right? It had nothing to do with the two Kevins. It was kind of on its own on the side, but I enjoyed it so much.
You mean Kevin Senior's episode?
Exactly.
Okay.
Where it was so far off the main path of the story, and at the beginning I was like, please don't have another episode like that. And they didn't.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I like this one a lot better. We obviously missed probably all of the symbolism in this episode. I'm sure there was a lot, and that's when I wish I was more educated.
Right. Same.
But,
I agree.
Yeah. The lines there, the guy with the red cap, God, whatever. Things that will never get explained.
A lot of it was so good. And me at this point, I'm looking for symbolism in the episode. I'm looking for things to come up. And then when they were getting on the ferry, right? They were getting on the boat, and you see the lion be put in the boat. I was like, oh my God, it's Noah. It's happening. They're actually doing a Noah thing.
Oh, okay. This is another symbolism to the ark, because we saw the ark, 2 episodes ago? Mm-hmm. They're building an ark anyways, and now there's a lion getting put in there, and then all these people are dressed as animals.
Right, and maybe that could mean something else.
Maybe that was symbolic. I don't know. Something. Are you scratching your armpit?
No, but this is not the armpit. This is shoulder.
Right. I was very bad at anatomy.
All right. For anybody that is watching, thank you. We appreciate it. If this is your first time, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back.
Hit it.
Hit it hard. We'll be back over the next couple weeks.
Super hit it.
To talk about this show, and then we're jumping into Game of Thrones. I think
that's right.
like almost immediately.
Yeah.
But since we do have somebody here that knows a little bit about the show, and I don't mean you, Remy, let's talk about it. What happened with the whole French thing at the beginning?
I don't know. This French submarine guy just lost his shit and blew it up.
Do we know anything about that?
No idea. There's a lot of French in this. Like the opening song was French.
Yeah.
And then you had this song from a famous French singer throughout the episode. We did not hear that the haunting theme. I think are they getting rid of it?
No. They're just dropping it at certain moments. It did,
but
come
it's
in.
not as epic as it's been in the first two seasons.
And the one that they used in this episode was very much different. It was definitely different than what we've seen in the past. And yes, Ben, go ahead.
Ben, yes, we noticed that. It was definitely the same guy. We actually checked it out, and it was the same dude on the bridge that lets him go through so that he can dump the girl in the well.
Correct. And actually, you know what? I had a question about that. Was it established in that episode that the person Kevin was talking to was God?
He's some kind of gatekeeper at that.
He's got an error that said OBS studio disconnected.
Uh-oh. So, stream resumed.
All right.
I don't know. Hey, hopefully this works. Ben, let us know if this works.
God, I hate technology. But here we are.
I know. You have to embrace it, Nima. So many times you lectured me on this. I'm not going to let you have this.
All right. That's fine. But yes, it was the same guy. And, well, this episode turned out to be more or less a conversation with God, right? A conversation between Matt and God. And I honestly don't know if it was meant to be taken as a literal conversation with God. Is that God, or just two people going crazy together?
I don't know. You know the part where, he has him in the wheelchair by the lion.
Right.
And then by the end of their conversation, Matt is on his knees, like untying him because why exactly? I'm not sure. And then after that, I feel like Matt went through it like, okay, he's God, therefore Kevin's story that I wrote is bullshit. But then the guy comes to him when they get to the port, and he's like, "You're right about the murder." The guy is gonna get arrested, and then Matt changes again to like, "Oh, maybe I was right," and he tells Rhea, "I'm dying," because he's realized that guy did not heal him because he was not God because he murdered someone and blah blah blah. I don't know, something along the lines.
See, I don't know. I don't know what Matt's reaction to that was. Obviously, he did tell Lori that he's dying. So, like you said, is it because he doesn't think that he spoke to God, or is it that he's lying now? I don't know. Like,
I don't know either. And then the whole thing with the lion and the story of that lion that was 9 years old and repopulated entire zoos. Yeah, Fraser. And then what were they going to do with Matt? Are they gonna do something? Yeah, like weird, like a vacuum.
Not like a vacuum. I assume gravity was gonna take over to do this.
How?
There was a person there assisting. This is so weird to talk about.
I know. It was pretty weird. We thought she was gonna do something naughty, and then all of a sudden, like they have this fake lion's.
Oh no, they were definitely gonna do that. She was gonna do it, and they were gonna use that tool as a way to,
take in. Yeah. Okay, this is awkward.
Let's talk about any other part of the show now.
Yeah, we're not drinking beer today. We're drinking tea.
We are drinking tea.
Because that's what they do in Australia. I don't know.
Yep.
No, it's probably not.
That was an awkward silence as both of us drink tea at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Do
you think a lot of people are going to be like a lot of the religious people watching this show, as we know they are because we have comments proving that.
Okay.
Do you think they got repulsed by this episode because of all the crazy stuff in there? Like the not that I think it's crazy or anything.
The sex party and stuff?
Yeah, like the crazy orgies and stuff like that.
I don't think so, because at this point, if they've stayed in tune with the show for this long,
that's true. That's true.
There's been a lot of crazy things. Like, if they had a problem with nudity, this is not the first time.
No. Anyways,
You sure you want to skip the seed sucker scene? We're doing our best to skip that scene, Ben. Like we're acting like that scene didn't happen, even though it was kind of important. But we don't know how to talk about it.
what were they going to do with it? I'm curious. I really am curious at this point.
I would imagine they're gonna follow through with this story of Frasier, and they were gonna reenact that scene. So
How exactly?
all right, let's
What? Are you not comfortable talking about this?
I don't know our audience, so I don't know how far to push the story. That's my main concern. I can get into detail, man.
All right. Yeah, probably. I don't know. There's 2-3 episodes left for the whole season, for the whole series. And
2, I believe.
again, this episode, I feel like they're wasting time with a lot of symbolism. Granted, I don't understand half of it.
Right.
But is it really wise of them at this point? Like, what are they trying to show? Why are they trying to show with Matt at this point? Like, did I get it right earlier when he's like, okay, he's doubting himself, then he's not, then he's... I mean, at the beginning of the episode, it's like, no, we have to go save Kevin because we have to bring him back because that's just,
Right.
And then the conversation he has at the end with the guy in the wheelchair, you can see he goes from like, I'm not sure anymore, I am certain, and I'm not sure anymore, and I'm certain again. He tells the officer, the captain of the ship, like, no, I don't have any pressing matters to attend to. I will, talk to the police about this guy. That means he gave up on it, and then,
But
maybe I'm looking too much into it.
Right, I think you might be looking too much into it because I think he's saying he doesn't have a pressing matter because John said whatever that's going to happen is going to happen here. They're no longer need to get back in a hurry. They're going to be there.
True that.
That's the way I took it.
That.
Because I still think this guy is all about this. I mean, he's the one that's pushing this narrative forward that something crazy is going to happen. If they drop that, if they drop the only person who has a motivation for something awesome about to happen, then we have 2 episodes left and nobody's going to push it. Oh, Kevin Sr. thinks he's the Messiah. So maybe he's going to be the guy that, pushes the story forward. Even though he threw away the book. So now we don't have anybody who has proof. I have
no idea what's going on. It's like you're hoping for everything to come back together and everybody's like theories getting back, like clustering together so that you can have a nice happy ending. And again, with this episode, it's like, I don't know anymore. I want to see more conspiracy theories, damn it.
Like you want to see more things that start conspiracy theories?
I want to see Nora's side is what I'm mainly interested in.
I'm more interested in Kevin, but they're joined together, so I agree, and I imagine that's going to happen in the next episode. I think
that was Mr. Bates that was telling us that the show is great at. What was it that you were saying, man? The show is great at they're showing like things happening and you're not sure if it's logical or if it's a metaphysical thing that happened, and that was a great explanation. Where does that lead us?
Is that frustrating to you, Remy?
I'm just not really happy with this episode.
You're not?
No.
I watched this episode,
and that's probably because I'm not smart enough to understand what the episode was trying to say.
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the case, but also maybe it's because like we're so attached to the 2 main characters, and that's where most of the drama is happening. Every time they divert away from it, it's less impactful to us. I think that could be it. But excuse me, I'm sick and I'm going to be coughing a lot. I'm trying to hold them back.
Don't hold back, Nima.
What I think, I went into the episode making sure I don't have the same reaction that I had to the Kevin Sr. episode. So with that in the back of my mind, I did enjoy it because now I'm thinking they're setting up basically this guy's, not so much backstory, but this guy's emotional state for something that's going to pay off in episode 6 or 7.
Sure. And we did learn some stuff about Matt. We learned that he almost died when he was a baby or a kid.
Right.
And then he prayed a lot and God saved him. And then he's sick again from the same thing, apparently.
And you're thinking it's a tumor, right?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I was just like when he was bleeding and all that, and keeps bleeding, and it's like, oh, it's probably like a weird bad cancer. But I don't know anything about that, so.
I was thinking since his wife was saved, maybe he took on that sickness. But during that same conversation that he was talking about how he was saved as a child, I love that conversation with God, because it's something that we've talked about, even you and I have talked about before, where people do nice things and at some level they think it's selfless, and it's not selfless. They're doing it for either to be paid off in the future or to be judged by God.
Totally.
And I was like,
so they can feel better about themselves.
Right. Oh man, you just went.
Totally a great point.
Robotic.
Super loud?
No, just robotic.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it's all right. Oh god.
Yeah, that was a good conversation. That was the main conversation of the whole episode, I feel like.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm seeing myself go very robotic and blurry right now, and you guys will see that in about 10 seconds, I think. Or you've seen it 10 seconds ago.
They've already seen it.
It's not getting better either. Maybe a little bit.
Well, if the compression will try to catch up, but it's all right. It is what it is.
Nice cup, dude. You love your car that much?
They gave it to me. Mini Cooper gave me this cup.
Are you serious? When you bought a car?
Yeah, they also gave me a pen and a nice bag and a whole bunch of different things. It's a good company. Yeah. I mean, their cars might not be that great, but the company is great.
Because they gave you a cup?
Yeah, I mean, because they take care of their customers. They try to make them happy. It's a Santa Claus?
Santa cup.
So, let's talk about what's going to happen. What is going to happen in episode 6? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And our audience, too, let us know. Where do you think this is going to go? We don't have to wait for them. You can tell me.
What do you think it's going to go?
I don't know, man. Like, I've seen, just because I want to work on the pictures and everything else, I've seen some behind-the-scene photos, and they don't help me at all, man. Like, in no capacity whatsoever is this useful. And I'm like, I'm going to find out something about it. Nope. I refuse to read the summaries of the episodes that are coming up. That I'm still holding out. That I'm not going to do.
Because we got the summaries. We can read them.
Right, but
we can't. We probably should not have announced that here.
Why?
We're not reading them. We're not reading them.
Oh, we're definitely not reading them, because people know we're not reading them just because of how dumb we are when we talk about the show. Yeah, that's totally proof that
we could read them and be like, "Let me see. I think in the future this happens."
And then call it people. Every single episode.
And then people would be like, "These guys are genius," and then HBO would be like, "No, they have all this stuff."
Oh God, you went robotic again. I love it when you go robotic.
Why?
It's basically Skype saying they don't have a good enough internet connection, so they compress more to send less footage and less data over.
I need a new modem.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, or you get fiber, but that's all right.
Yeah,
we were talking about what's going to happen. I do think there is going to be a reunion in Melbourne. That's where I'm feeling. So Jill, I think, is going to come back, and just like Ben said, it would be a shame if Jill doesn't come back.
Why would Jill come back?
Because not for any, I don't know, for narrative reasons, but for the main reason that this is the last season of the show. She was crucial in season 1 and 2.
The impending apocalypse is happening like 2 or 3 days at this point.
Right.
And all the flights are grounded. So how's she going to make?
I mean, all the flights are grounded for now, but not indefinitely. I
don't know.
So, I mean, saying like at some point, like that's one possibility of how she could get there. Or in the pure nature of Damon Landeroff, she could just show up, and who cares about explaining how she got there? Like that's a thing that they could do, so you can go like, what the fuck? And then that's another mystery added to the line. I think she'll be there. And I don't think this is going to be a nice, quiet send-off to the show. I do think in this episode that's coming, we're going to have a bang. Like something crazy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, it will be the before last episode. How many? No, we have 3 more, dude. There's 8 episodes total.
Oh, there's 8? Okay. So
this is 5, which means there's 3 more. Right. Which means the next one might be another bullshit episode. Sorry, I said that. But hopefully number 7 would be like Game of Thrones doing. Like the episode before last is always kind of like epic.
That's the main reason I said it, is because you've been saying it for a few years that the episode before the finale is always the one where the crazy things happen. So
in
you
Game
can-
of Thrones, anyways.
Right. I don't know, man. I think at this point, there is no reason to veer off. That's the nice thing is like think about the story and the characters that we have. We veered off to go see Kevin Senior, right? And then he basically reunited with Kevin Jr. in the last episode. In this episode, we veered off to go see Michael and Laurie and everybody else, and now they're back. They're in Melbourne. Everybody's in the same country now. So I think going forward, it's gonna be like season 2-ish.
Where you see everyone in every episodes.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean,
I do too. Dude, I like this show, as horrible as it sounds, to watch this poor Kevin character just go through misery one episode after the other. So I think it sucks when it's not that. So I think we're gonna go back to that. Oh,
so hopefully next episode is gonna be Kevin's together doing stuff.
Doing Kevin things.
Kevin things together. Nora, where was Nora left last episode? She was
in a hotel. She was in a hotel as it was,
And she was upset. She was mainly upset that she thought she answered that question right, and she didn't.
Mm-hmm. Ben, I don't know if you're still watching. I imagine you may not be, but if you do catch on the show to this point, you were trying to make a point about the question. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was you in the comments.
I don't know if it was him.
Okay, so like I want to know, like obviously I got it wrong. They did not answer the same question the same way, but I still want to know what the importance of that question is. What does it represent? What are they supposed to say? So I don't get it, because based on the comments, it seems like people are saying the two people that we know that were asked the question, they answered it in two different ways, and neither one of them got to go. Right?
We don't know if that doctor was actually asked that question for the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, maybe because he was dressed in a nice suit and all that. But hold on. Like, remember the episode with Nora on episode 2 must have been episode 2 where she meets, where we start having the conspiracy theories talk.
Right. She meets with the actor that's representing that. Like, yeah.
That character, what did he tell her? Where was the last experiment done? Where did he have to go before meeting her? Was it Australia?
I don't remember.
Because if it was, no, it couldn't have been. Damn it! Sorry, never mind.
It's alright, but if anybody's watching and they do know, leave a comment. Let us know. Like, was that guy hinting at something? Maybe he was.
Do you think the producers of this show are making it? Do you think they're just uber smart, kind of like the dude that makes Newsroom?
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah. Do you think they're just so smart they don't really care about the mass audience that's not gonna get it, but still gonna like their show, like us? Or they just don't even care about any kind of mold, and they're just doing whatever they want? I mean, what was the purpose of having this episode happening, half in a plane, half in a boat with a crazy party? I mean, maybe is it cheaper to do it that way? It's like, oh, we have a lion, let's throw him in there.
I don't think so.
It's all symbolism then. It's everything's happening for a reason. I was going to ask you about something. When Matt is reading, I don't know if he's reading out of a Bible. I think he is. And then his nose starts.
Yeah, he's reading a Bible. I believe he is reading a Bible.
That's crazy, but the blood's landing on a page. Maybe it's landing on a word that's very crucial.
Right.
But that's just me taking it too far. But again, it's the last season. So if I was making a show, if there's only 4 episodes left, I would kind of like make every single detail count.
No, I agree. And just remember, like, this show's being made by people that are, I believe, more passionate about it than we are. And you see this all the time in movies and games where minor details, because somebody is paying attention and making that minor detail, they like all the time, they make that blood land on that one word because it's cool to them, even though it might be missed by 99% of the viewers. To them, they're like, we got it. That means something to me. And so you could be right. It might have, obviously that portion of the phrase, that whatever it was important. Otherwise, they would not have zoomed in and lingered on it for so long for you to read it. So I think you're onto something. I just don't remember what that word was.
I don't know either.
All right, Remy, don't go quiet.
I'm just confused. This show confuses me.
It is confusing, but
So confusing.
I don't think they're super smart. I don't think they operate at a level that's beyond regular humans, the writers and the creators of this show. But I think it is nice that people like, whoa, that was loud. People like Aaron Sorkin and Damon Lindelof and anybody, the guy who made Breaking Bad, these people are making shows that are intellectual on a level that they don't think their audience is dumb. They're like, you know what, stick around, enjoy the whole show, it will pay off. As opposed to the old days where, like, even Frasier was brought up in this episode. Frasier was a thing that like acted like it was smart, but it was kind of a dumb show. And every 20 minutes, you had a whole story, and you're like, don't worry about it. We'll be back next week with another 20-minute story. This is saying that, you know, you need the patience of like 8 weeks. It will be good. Trust me.
In what way will it be good? Because could be different definitions of why a show or, you know, an entertainment art piece is fun. It might look really good, which this one does. Mm-hmm. There's a nice overall message, which I'm not sure in this one. And then, is it going to make you think a lot, which some people really want that. And this is the kind of show that makes you think a lot.
Right.
But are we thinking too much? Are we trying to read too much into it? Did the producers actually work hard to make us think hard?
Right.
Is it a smart kind of show? Like, I don't know. Is it just very abstract? Is it an abstract show?
I think, like, just like how you say there's multiple ways that something can be good, I think there's multiple ways something can be smart.
Right.
I think you did hit the nail right on the head. It is a show where they want you to think. It's definitely a show where, and just like Damon Lindelof said, when they send out the review copies, there was a little note that said, don't binge watch this. Because he wants this show to be like wine. He wants it to sit there on your mind and mature and before you can go to the next episode. Where it's the exact opposite of what Netflix does, which is like, here's 13 hours, go crazy.
Yeah, have fun.
Right. Which, you know, we're trying to do that too.
We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. It didn't work for Sense8.
It's going to work because I think we're going to have a video up this week or next week.
If anybody watching has an idea for us, this is our predicament. This is what we're trying to figure out. HBO has a show coming out every Sunday. It makes it easy for us to log in right after the show airs and do a live conversation like this one once a week, because the episodes come out once a week. Netflix throws the whole season at once at midnight, whenever the day that season comes out. We're not sure how to tackle that. So other than doing like a marathon watch and then get together after that, all tired and all that, which by the way, Nima, should be pretty fun if we tried.
I know we're going to do it, but go ahead. You're on the right track.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I'll finish your thought. So we're at the place where we have an idea about how to do the Netflix thing. We don't know if it's the right idea if it's going to work. Obviously, we do this, and it's nice to have an audience that we can talk to and have a discussion about the show. That's the main reason we keep coming back every week, because the discussion builds, the community builds. We don't know how to do that for a Netflix show. Netflix shows don't really give the opportunity for water cooler talk, which is what we're having right now. So we'll test it where we're going to do a marathon, and we're not kidding. It's going to be a marathon of 13 hours of watching a show and doing a discussion about it and then uploading that to YouTube. But we want to know, what's the best way for you guys? How do you consume Netflix shows? How many episodes do you watch at a time? And if you do watch per episode, then would this be a good format for you to come back and watch our episodic discussion? Or do you, like I do, binge watch the shit out of a show and then you're like, oh, now I want to know what happened for the last...
Do you really sit down for 10 hours straight?
Depends on the show.
You've done it before?
House of Cards season 1 and 2 I did.
The whole marathon?
I think so. I think I've cut maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but Stranger Things I definitely did. The only reason I didn't make Stranger Things all the way through is because I wasn't expecting the show to be good. So I got tired and I had things to do that I had to leave. Otherwise, if I was expecting the show to be good, that day would have been cleared out for me to watch it.
We're pretty much trying to get ready for Stranger Things season 2 when that comes out on Halloween. So we tried something at Sense8, but my internet connection went bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
And we're going to do House of Cards. Hopefully that's going to work. And then by Stranger Things, we'll be ready. Back on the subject, Nima.
Back on the subject.
Any extra thoughts on this episode of Leftovers we just watched?
Of all the filler episodes, and I don't mean it in a bad way, of all the episodes that are diverting from the main cast of the characters that I care about, I thoroughly enjoyed this. It made me feel awkward. It was really interesting. And I was gonna tell you, the piece of the music, the dramatic leftovers music kicked in at the end of the God conversation.
But it didn't go into the piano part.
It was slightly different. It was the same song. It was slightly different. And it did not go into the piano thing. You're right. And it was so good though, because I think they're using it at this point. They're literally dropping the music.
It's gonna happen
to
in
make
the
you
last. It's gonna happen in the last episode. They're gonna bring it back in the last scene. That's epic.
Right,
Hopefully.
but I think they're doing it at this point. They're doing it at the, because in the last episode and this one, they only played the theme and a variation of the theme only once in each, and they've done it, I think, in a way to just like something emotional is happening, something really dramatic is happening. Obviously, the point of the narrative is switching, where your mind's literally about to go, "What the fuck?" or "Oh my god," and then they drop the music to just carry you all the way through. Because they did it in the last episode when Kevin realized that he was seeing somebody else as opposed to seeing Ava. And in this episode, they did it where at the switch where Matt was about to be healed, where you're just like building up to the point that, oh my God, is he going to get healed? And then God goes like this. Or Mr. Burton, right? That's his name? David Burton.
David Burton.
So I like that they do it. I like that they're not overusing it.
But every time they used it in the past seasons, it was like so good. It fit perfectly.
Right. Like the fire scene comes to mind when Kevin was running through the fire, saving his wife and his daughter.
That was good.
Yep.
That was pretty good. Do you think the opening scene in this episode with the naked Frenchman running through the submarine, getting the keys, and then... Okay, why do you think because they could have done that exact scene many different ways, or they could have not even done that scene at all. It was like what, a good 5-10 minutes.
Right. It was a really long opening
of just like that was a piece. That scene was like a piece. Oh, let's do that. It'd be cool if we put this naked guy running through a submarine and doing this like cool yoga pose, get the keys turned at the same time.
Right.
What was the purpose of that scene? Because they could have later on in a newscast within the show be like, a French submarine just blew up in the sea and it was a nuclear explosion. Why did they have to put the scene there?
You're right. And you know what? They literally did have it on the news on TV in the background. So it could have been something that they could have easily cut, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't. Because again, like we've talked about before, that scene was so different than anything else in the show. Like it had really crazy music on top of it. This dude getting naked, which we don't even know why yet. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell us. And then the whole thing with the yoga pose to do the 2 keys.
It's like he practiced it.
Right. Like obviously when he gets inside the room that, you're supposed to pull the trigger on the weapon, I assume most people's mind went, oh, what is he going to do about the 2 key situation? So obviously I'm glad they answered with the crazy yoga pose while he's naked. Maybe it didn't need to be done. I'm glad they did it because it was super weird. It was like...
Yes, sure.
Tangent. Go ahead.
Then is it... why such tangent when you only have 3 episodes to wrap up a story? They do not care about... What are they doing? Are they Are they super good at are they psychiatrists that know how people are going to react and they're just putting this puzzle together to make us feel crazy at the end when the show's over in a good way? Or is it just like, we have the extra 10 minutes. Let's have this cool scene of this. Why not? Let's just do it.
I don't think it's a second because I have full faith in these guys, even though they people get frustrated about them, but I have full faith in the same reason that you and I have ideas for stories that we know for a fact are going to confuse people if they don't know the whole scope. So I give them the same benefit of the doubt that...
Okay, so you're saying within the next few episodes, we might learn why this guy lost his shit.
Right.
And his shirt.
By we, I mean the viewer, not necessarily you and I. You and I might see the whole season end and we're still going to be in the same confused state, but I like to hope that somebody out there gets it, that it can let us know what it is.
Oh, we had a cool Yolan A. I almost lost my mind with this episode. It was a what the fuck 1 hour moment. I agree with that. Bigly.
no doubt it was Bigley, really, but it was definitely super strange.
Super.
But,
Yeah, it was a strange one. It was. I don't know, man. I'm frustrated because again, you only have 4 episodes to wrap up a story.
You keep adding episodes.
That's huge. Well, before this one
Got
started,
it.
like, all right, we have 4 more episodes, and it's very philosophical, and people are thinking conspiracy theories, and religious people are tagging along. Let's throw everyone off and put this episode in there with a naked French guy in a submarine that blows everything up.
So, like, episode 4 ended with that big question: why are all the aircrafts grounded? Right. So this episode opened with a definitive answer about why.
Yeah, sure. There was a guy who did some yoga with both keys.
Obviously, that's a weird summary of it. But you're right. This is something that could have easily been answered with just a background on the TV, on the news. So what's the reasoning for having under? Like, obviously, I want to put myself in the boat that I'm glad it was in there. But I don't know why. I don't know what they're getting at.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to drop like a bombshell.
I did have a thought, but I was completely not. I pretty much lost what you were saying, like, and then I thought about something that I want to talk to you about.
Tell me.
I forgot it again.
Oh my god, man!
Oh, you know when the captain of the ship, the first time he meets Matt, when Matt's like, "This guy threw a guy off the ship," and he tells the story about this guy who's not God, who calls himself that, on the ship with the guy with the red hat that we've seen in season 2.
Right.
In one of Kevin's dream sequence.
Not a dream sequence, but go on.
So, gosh, that puts another thought in my head. Like, why would Kevin see that in his dream? Right. This is what's genius about this show. They did that so that people are like, okay, maybe, again, it goes back to the whole, like, is this logical or is this metaphysical? Like Mr. Bates was saying.
Mr. Bates. Can we just call him Ben?
Not good. That's what these guys are doing. That's all they're doing. I think that's all they're playing on with this whole story. Because why bring the same guy and put him as God and Matt talks to him? Anyways, back to my first thought here. The captain tells him about, he died. His buddy put him in a cave so he wouldn't get eaten by dingoes, which are dogs, I guess.
Okay.
An Australian wild dog.
Wild dogs from Australia, mate.
High five, Remy's wife.
And Matt hears this story, and he's like, "Oh, I know this story, because Kevin came back from the dead too."
Right.
That was interesting. And then
no, it definitely was.
Matt goes to talk to him. No, that was after. Does he talk to him? So when Matt goes and knocks him unconscious and wants to talk to him, he's thinking, "Oh, maybe it is God, and maybe Kevin's not the only Messiah, or maybe I'm just crazy." And I think he was trying to prove himself.
Oh man. Okay, I think
Something.
we're opening up a whole nother conversation here.
Go for it.
2 things. First of all, absolutely. What the hell does it mean when we see a character? We don't know what he means, but we definitely see him in the afterlife sequence of season 2 represent something. Obviously, I may not have.
He's letting Kevin through that bridge,
right? And he asks some questions. He has to about what he's gonna do, why he's gonna do it that way.
Oh man, now I want to listen to that conversation again.
It's a really important one because I was recording that footage this morning. It's a really important conversation. But anyway, so what does it mean when a character exists in both that world or that universe, whatever you want to call it,
and in the
this
real
one?
World?
Is this the real one? Just like the person whose name is What's Up, which is a really weird thing to say. Just like What's Up said. How do we know this is not the afterlife? How do we know these are not the people that are also taken? And all those questions are mind fucks. But at the same time, like you were saying, the conversation that Matt and Kevin were having, and also Matt was having with the captain, I took that note. I said, just like Kevin. Because like when you think about it, like he did rise from the dead. He did go through all those things that everybody thought is crazy. And like everybody just laughs at it, just like everybody laughs at Matt at this point. But from what we know as an audience and from what Mr. Burton or whatever his name was went through, that really happened. There's witnesses that saw it. There's witnesses that saw him die and come back to life days later, to the point that you're like, some weird shit's going on. But speaking of coming back to life days later, I love the fact that God drops this bombshell that no, Jesus definitely died.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he
that was
didn't.
his twin brother that came back.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I like that, man.
I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I could see why people thousands of years ago were like, oh my god. Maybe they'd never seen a twin before. I don't know.
no, man. Jesus was not the first twin, but I think changing things up like this is really good. Like
What do you mean, like in the show, in the storytelling?
in the storytelling overall, not just the show itself, but like taking a story that at this point a huge portion of this planet already knows. Like people know the Jesus story. And
Right.
changing it up just like a tiny little detail.
Just a tiny detail. Yeah.
Like it's awesome. And if anybody hasn't seen Darren Aronofsky's Noah, they should see it because he does the same thing in that, and it's so good. It's
well, in the same thing. Like there's one small detail that gets switched.
he does the Noah movie. He says it's more of a fantasy biblical movie where there is angels and there's like things are happening in the heavens and all those things. But okay, spoiler alert, not only for this show but also for that movie.
Yeah. We're
You
losing
don't-
people.
That's fine. You don't know when that story is taking effect, and I love that. You don't know
Oh,
if
you're
it's
telling me
happening
about
in
this.
the future or if it's happening in the past, and it's so good because of it, and by people that already left.
Yeah. Yeah, we're discussing the episode, obviously, as you can see in the title.
We discuss
I
it
had
in
no-
the title only and nothing else.
Yeah. It's like we lure people in and we talk about any other thing. Gosh, I had a thought when you were talking about this Jesus detail story. I want to know the symbolism with the lion and him and it eating the so-called God at the end.
God, I mean, you're right. There must be something there. Like
I also had another thought, but I forgot it. Oh,
go ahead.
he does throw someone off the boat.
Yeah, he does.
Why?
He killed. I mean, God, this is not the first time God's killed somebody. It's
Well, I know, but we don't know if he is or not. And this is the thought.
He is. Let's assume he is because that makes his story awesome.
All right, you know how why would they put the detail of him being like a bronze medalist at some Olympic Games, right? Maybe Kevin saw him on TV and in his dream he saw that face again.
So you're saying this is all Kevin?
Again, they're just doing this again over and over again, like toying with our emotions.
I want to say no to that, but you never know. That they could be like, that's it.
Why
This
would
is all
that detail be there? Why would that detail be there?
to say that this guy had a previous life. This guy had something before he became God. And
Right.
this is the thing I don't know. For the
Do you think this red cap is a?
No, it's not. No, it is not. Don't even go there. But for the portion of our audience that is either Christian or knows about Christianity, God, and Jesus, are they the same person? I thought they're not person,
No,
not the same being.
They're the same. They're the same. They're the same thing.
They are?
I think.
Okay, so that okay, never mind that.
Now,
So-
I might be wrong. I don't know.
So like that's
I
the
don't
thing
know
I don't know if Christ died for humanity's sins in the
yeah.
story, did God die?
No.
So they're not the same, right? So that means God, this is so confusing.
Apparently, Jesus was God in the flesh, but not all of it. Or even if he was all of it, when he died, God was back to Almighty everywhere.
Oh God, we should do a whole religion thing. That doesn't make sense because
No.
aren't humans God in flesh? Isn't that how the story goes? Like God made us in His own image.
But within only the one Christian religion, it could be like it's so open to interpretation. I feel like.
And that's why you get awesome stories out of religion, like Leftovers.
Right, but I can't wait for a show or story. I'm sure there's been a story, but shows are easier to watch than read. I can't wait for a show that doesn't use any religion in order to make like a compelling philosophical mind fuck. that makes you think hard about our existence and the human condition and stuff like that.
There definitely is like a show that I wish we caught on early enough because you would love it and it would be great for this audience is Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is that. It's incredible. And it's about modern times, it's about society, capitalism,
Is
democracy.
it about AI?
Not really.
No? Okay.
No. I mean maybe it is now. I'm like a season or two behind. Mm-hmm. But it's really good. And it doesn't have any
Makes you
religion
think
to it.
hard.
Oh, for sure. Like it's same level like Fight Club. Do you remember seeing Fight Club the first time and the questions that it raised? I would put Mr. Robot in the same category of questioning society's norms and what's happening today and what our role as individuals is in society. Should we stand up?
Besides the whole society thing, like this, besides the societal aspect of stories and stuff, like the ones that get deeper, like they get past the society problems and go into, like our existence, like being a human and how we should conduct ourselves, regardless of society or not. But I guess that makes no sense because it's like, what?
You can't separate the two.
Yeah, no, you can't really separate the two, I guess.
And remember the things that you want a show to tackle, like the overarching things that you want the show to tackle is the reason we as humanity have religion at this point is because we couldn't come up with a convenient way to talk about those things and answer them and preach to them or say don't do these things. So we came up with religion. Like, obviously not somebody didn't sit down and was like, all right, religion is the thing that we're going to do from this day forward. But that discussion that happened over hundreds of years became religion. People went into groups, they agreed with that group, and they started making up things.
But did they write those stories in order to teach people how to live?
That's why most religions exist, is to teach people to be good. Even as an atheist, I believe that Christianity, Islam, they all exist because at that time they were trying to make a better world than existed in that century. A
better world for their own people or for everyone?
I assume back then their own people were everyone. Like,
right, I guess.
Like,
are you saying that started so long ago that it was groups of people that didn't really know there was other groups of people out there?
Right. Just think about in the days of Christ and Muhammad, which are the two prophets that more or less we know or we assume existed. Moses, I don't know because of the whole fire that happened in Egypt. I don't know if we have enough record to know that he existed. I'm not sure if we do. But Christ and Muhammad, we're fairly certain they existed. So back then, like, for where Christ was and where Muhammad was, like, nobody cared about what was happening in Americas. Nobody was, like, Muhammad did not care about what was happening in England or East Asia.
Did you know there was such places?
It's possible. I don't think for Christ, because based on Christ's story, his profession was, what was it? He was a woodworker. He was just a regular person. So he may not have known. But if I'm not mistaken, Muhammad's story is that he was a trader. So he may know, or he may have come across people of East Asia. That's possible. I can't tell if you're frozen or not. You're not frozen. Got it.
I'm not frozen. I was looking up the the sign that Evie was holding in the window. That was from the Quran.
Sarah something, right?
Yeah, apparently it's about Judgment Day. So just another thing.
What was the number next to it? Oh wait, that's the
81,
verse.
Surah 81.
Okay.
So they're not just using the Christian religion.
Dude, Christianity and Islam are more or less like, they're so similar. People want to deny it all the time. Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are
they're just super close to each other.
Yeah, they're the same from different
how do they call God over there in Tasmania or Australia? That came up twice in this episode.
It did?
Yeah.
No, they just said God.
No, they said there was a name for that.
Oh, they said the didn't they say the Buddhist version or the Hindu version of God?
I don't think so. I think
which
it was
is
like
a wrong
Australian
thing to say because I think there's multiple gods in Hinduism.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man. My lack of knowledge in this is super embarrassing.
I know, man.
Disappointing ourselves and every viewer.
I know. We suck so bad. But thanks for watching, guys. There's eight of you guys watching. Well, minus 2 because that's us, right?
Yeah, 2 is us.
I don't know. What else you got?
Dude, we've gone on for 15 minutes. I feel like if we start another tangent, it's going to go on for another like 30.
Well,
40.
I mean, have you noticed that every time we go on a tangent and we come back and we remember something about the episode that was actually pretty interesting and deep?
Right. And this is actually also a trend of ours for people that don't know. Usually the day after we push this on YouTube, we remember things that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
And just like Ben said, we're getting better. We'll get there.
He was probably out. He's like, oh, these guys. I'm glad he came back, though. And said
Totally.
hello.
But if we don't have anything, we can wrap it up. Unless you do have something. Unless you want to open up a whole nother can of worms.
I just want to get back to Kevin's and Nora's. Nora's even more. And the people that just ran away from her. The scientists.
Right.
People.
I mean, Nora's okay. I'm interested in her character development, but the scientist, so much more, and obviously Kevin, 100%. I want to know what the hell's going on with Kevin.
What are they going to do now with his dad?
Oh, with Kevin Sr.? I don't know.
And what do you think happened in Matt's head when he learned that Kevin saw Evie and that Laurie told him it was not Evie?
I think that's the tragic thing, but the thing that I always hope in the back of my mind, and I turn out to be always wrong, is I hope there's a twist coming that I know about. So my twist hope for this is that was Evie. How incredible would it be if that is still Evie and Laurie said it's not Evie to plant that in his mind? If Kevin can be manipulated that way.
Laurie called that girl because she found her to warn her about Kevin.
As the story goes, I mean, I like to have hope.
But Laurie was part of the guilty remnant, and so was Evie, and maybe they're still colluding.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
But that's kind of a crazy theory.
Oh, God, somebody left a comment. Oh, my God, Mariah. Hey, Mariah.
So much hate.
She's like, thumbs down, unsubscribe, gone. Let's wrap it up.
Oh, sure. Sure. You don't have any thoughts on that?
Not particularly. Because I feel like I'm wrong. I feel like we're both wrong on that.
Oh, we probably are, but what's the point of this? We're talking about it. Plus, we have a few people watching us right now. Hey, guys.
Mariah, what you do with your leftovers is send them to me. Because apparently you keep claiming that you can cook dinner and stuff, but I've never seen it happen.
That was my joke. Just saying. That was my joke, honey. Nima, guess what I'm having for dinner tonight?
Leftovers.
Not funny. No one's leaving. No one's leaving after my bad joke. This is great.
They haven't seen it yet, so give it like 20 seconds. No, it's like leave.
A damn delay.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. I don't know what could possibly be happening with Laurie and Evie. I can't cook. So we'll see. Like we'll definitely see. I hope we find out more about anything else. Because here's the thing: if we find out more about Kevin, we're gonna find out all those other things, right?
I guess so. He's the key to all these mysteries at this point.
And or like, I'm even okay with them.
Except what this fake line was with the, pop out the JJ.
Okay, no, we don't need to.
You don't want to talk about this, do you?
Yeah, don't start this. Like, I don't want to get like blacklisted off of YouTube for some crazy reason. But I'm okay with them shifting the story completely to Nora because that side of it is still fascinating. I'm okay with that.
That's a conspiracy theory thing.
Right. See, and the people did leave.
No one left.
Yeah.
No. There was yeah.
You saw it happen in real time, Ice.
It's like this guy's and his jokes.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up so we don't keep going.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody being here.
Thanks for watching.
If you do stick around this long,
you're
An incredible human being.
An incredible human being. Giggle giggles.
Giggle giggles. I'm Nima.
I'm Remy.
And we'll be back next Sunday. Oh, we might have something in between now and then, but we don't know.
Yeah, no, we will. We should probably. Oh, we have. Hold on. Oh,
I know.
Kill Me with a Shotgun. Didn't you watch us for Big Little Lies?
Yeah, he or she did. The series never aired and continued. Yes, you should. You should absolutely. Don't ask Remy. Don't even pay attention to him. This show is really good.
Here it is.
Hold on. Let me do my.
This show is a piece of art.
Yes.
But if you're in a funky part of your life where you need your brain there and think positive, do not watch it until you're ready to watch it. That's all I got to say about it.
It's not an overall positive show. It's not going to make you leave with positive thoughts. I think it's incredible. It requires a long time investment. So if you're okay with that, binge watching or making sure you go through it with the whole season, do it. Because if you're not going to watch the whole season, then don't. Because the payoffs for Leftovers is always after the season's ended and you're sitting there thinking what just happened. That's when the payoff for the show is. It's not in each individual episode. Take that, Remy.
So does that mean it's a waste of your time after you're done watching it?
Not at all.
Because if you're sitting there trying to figure out what happened, knowing that people making the show might not have put too much thoughts into it.
Who said that? Who said they haven't put too much thought into it?
Well, that's what I was asking you earlier. Like, are they just uber smart and they're just like crafting this thing, expecting people to like take a long time to figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that part is for sure. They're crafting this thing, and the payoff is happening for the people that watch the whole thing, and not only watch the whole thing, but sit there and think about it for a long time. That's who this show is for. And I don't mean this show's not going to make anybody smarter than they were before, but this is the way art and storytelling should be.
Sure.
As opposed to big explosion, it's sitting there, you're thinking.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
It's fascinating what they could do with your emotion and your feelings. So that's what it should be.
Totally.
Kill Me with a Shotgun. You should watch
it. All these different episodes and so far the story so far, were they made in a way to play with our emotions so we feel more at some certain episodes, like the last episode, which was amazing. If anything, Kill Me.
No, don't make him watch. Don't tell him to watch one episode. Is that what you're gonna tell him?
No.
Oh, okay.
If anything, stick around because in this season there's an episode, last episode, that just blew our minds away.
Yeah,
it was so well crafted.
It's a perfect TV
but
episode.
We don't know if it's because we followed these characters so far and the episode was really good, or if it was just like visually, just on its own pleasing. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But anyways. Yeah, it's good. It's a good show. You can't argue that these people are super, super smart making this.
And it's sad that it's the last season, but hopefully they'll come back with something better.
After this?
We'll find out. Kill Me with a Switch asked if we're gonna get the answer of why everybody's disappearing.
We probably won't.
I hope we do. I really hope we do.
We probably won't. We probably will, but it'll be like
it'll be
super open-ended.
Aw. Hi, Mariah.
Hi, Nima.
Anyways.
No, I think...
These aren't even on anymore.
No, we are. We are on.
Oh, God. Don't tell me we're not on.
Are you ashamed of
Okay,
me?
we are.
No.
No, I think
Hello.
I think we'll get the answers. It may not be the good enough answer, but we'll get the answers. Like, The Lost, which is the thing I keep going back to, The Lost finale answered a lot of questions. But by answering them, he opened a lot of other questions.
Okay, well, if it closes in a way that closes the story, but then leaves you wondering about your own existence, I'm all for that.
Yes.
There should be more shows like this because people need to realize we're all in this together.
Correct.
So if art is used in that manner, I'm all for that. I just didn't have to go through. I didn't want to have to go through like 3 seasons of like pretty dark stuff that.
Really dark.
Yeah, that I don't really need to see to make my life better.
You're right, and we should wrap it up. But the thing with hold on before.
At the same time, I don't want to watch like stupid shows that are just there with like laugh boxes and stuff just to make me feel better about my day.
No,
feel
I
great about
agree.
my day.
But you should reserve a part of your life or a portion of your year or something to just watching dark art, because they're just incredible, man. Like the
Well,
movie.
it's like music. I think like the more it leaves you like full of thoughts, and that's a good thing.
Right. So dark music,
Ish.
dark movies, dark anything that has to do with not just sadness, but like the whole spectrum of things being dark. Could be violent, could be tragic. They're just like necessary. Obviously, you shouldn't spend your whole life watching, reading, consuming those things, but they're so necessary. And I think some of the best art happens on the darker end of the spectrum of life. Like the movie Filth is incredible. It's by the end of it, it's one of the darkest things you'll ever experience in your life. Or even Neon Demon, which is just a fucked up thing like the whole way through, but I'm so glad they exist because they're just incredible pieces of art that would not exist if they were just happy, anything positive at all.
Happy kind of sucks.
All right. Are we good? I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good. Are you good?
I'm so good. I'm super good.
By the way, we should change our name. If we change the name, which I'm not down, but it seems like you want to change the name, it should be Supercast.
No, leave it.
I love that your wife shuts you down on perfect moments.
That's exactly the story of my life.
I think we should change our name sooner than later. But
Why do you want to?
Because I think it's not descriptive enough, it may not be easy to spell for things like that. But we can have this discussion later because I want to wrap it up.
That's fine, dude. No one's stopping you from wrapping this up.
That's right. I have full control. I can end this at any moment. Thank you, everybody.
Control. Thanks, everyone.
I'm Nima.
I'm Nima.
You're not Nima.
I'm
He's
Remy.
And we'll be back next week. So please like, subscribe, whatever it is that you guys do.
We might have a video in between today and next week about Sense8, Season 2.
We'll do our best. If we don't have it between now and then, we'll have it by next week.
Yeah. Cool.
Bye.
Giggle.
We got another comment.
Giggle, giggle.
Giggle.